We're now rolling down the side of the mountain, heading toward one of my favorite spots, which is the Sunset Crater Volcano. We're leaving the high altitude, right now about 7,500 feet of elevation, and we're going to roll down more toward the desert. I'm going to show you a super secret entrance that you can come in and not have to pay the entrance fee. It's perfectly legal. They just don't staff it, and you're not required to show any kind of proof. So we're rolling down. We're down to 7,000 feet. So enjoy the ride. You're probably asking yourself, how is it that I have a camera mounted on the roof of my Jeep, but yet you can hear everything I'm saying with no wind noise? That's because the GoPro camera that's mounted on the roof rack has got a wireless antenna. It only cost about $35, and it allows a wireless signal to be sent from the microphone mounted on top of the camera down to a transmitter inside the Jeep, and then I have a lapel microphone attached to my shirt, all for a price of about $35. That's not too bad. You can see that now we've dropped about 1,000 feet of elevation, and suddenly all the big pine trees, which require a lot of water, are gone. And all you see are scrub and desert bush. Not much down here. It's also about 10 degrees warmer once you get down off that mountain. Now rolling up on the Wupatki National Monument access route. We're about 15 miles from the main entrance to the Sunset Crater Monument. Now here's the main entrance off of Highway 89. It drives in through here, and you can go all the way around, stopping off and looking at these, coming up here. But right now, we're here. We came in on the not normal entrance. Most people never even get up here. Most people just stop right here in the crater area and turn around and go back. But there's a lot more to see out here, and we're going to take a look at it. this is about a 1 mile loop around this. There's the trail. It's pretty windy. I'm not sure how much of it's going to be muffled. And of course I won't have it on the whole time. It's called the Middle Mesa, Box Canyon Ruins, and then the Lomakai Ruins. It says here the volcano affected the ancient inhabitants, and the plaza where daily life and activities like cooking and corn grinding took place. So basically they had to leave the area after the volcano went off. You can see that snow still covers the mountains off in the distance. There's the ruins. Down here is mostly desert, but up in the mountains it's forest and alpine meadows. So we're probably going to want to watch out for some snakes here. There are a lot of lizards and such. So you want to keep an eye out for some of that. They're also pretty cool. A lot of very colorful ones here. And they don't seem to be afraid of humans either. Just a lizard out looking for something to eat. Not hurting anybody. You can see this is inside of a canyon. It's kind of a box, like a long box. It's deep and there's a canyon on both sides. And I guess that offered them some protection. This is one of the structures that was still remaining. It's your basic 2-room flat. Again, you can see down into the bottom of the canyon how the walls came off down here. Rocks collapsed. The canyon goes quite a ways back in there. I don't know if you're allowed back in it. Doesn't look like you can. But see, there's another structure up there. Another one off in the distance. Let's go check those out too. Little ruin we were at a little while ago. There again is the Box Canyon. Goes back in there quite a ways. You're not allowed to go back further, but this is where they would have planted the crops and whatnot. You can see the mountains off in the distance, still with the snow on it. This is what I'm using for cameras. This is a low-cost $35 action camera. It's not very good quality, but it's okay for taking B-roll or using it as a backup. It does have image stabilization, but it's really all over the place. It's not all that good. But you put it on a little tripod, comes with a little frame, and it does have an underwater box you can use, and that works pretty good. And then here's the GoPro. This is a GoPro 9. You can see I've got the microphone cover for it. And then here I've got an external microphone. And that's what I can use with this wireless mic. I just hook this up. This line connects to the microphone, which is underneath my shirt. And then this is the antenna that sends the volume or the voice. And it hooks onto the back right there. It works out pretty good. This one I use most of the time, just because it's got better quality than all the other ones do. And it's also waterproof, as long as you don't have this external housing off. Anytime you want to get at it, it's like major operation to get in there and replace the battery, which I have to do right now. Here goes a little description about the background area there. So over here, this is what's known as the East Mesa. Now there's the volcano that caused all the trouble. Barely visible in the distance. That's 30 miles away. So you can see how clear the air is. That's the O'Leary Peak. And this is what's called the San Francisco Peaks right here. And these over here are called cinder cones. They're extinct volcanoes that all blew up. And of course, right down here is the Pueblo Village, right down there. It says here the Sunset Crater about 800 years ago would have still been belching out black smoke. And a thick layer of cinders covered the ground, which helped hold in the moisture, giving them good crop growth. Eventually, the Sunset Crater volcano grew quiet, and the winds blew the cinders away and dried out the soil. Why the Lomaki residents departed is not certain. There are indications of disease affecting the population or possibly a drought. Or it may have been hostile tribes, which contributed to the abandonment of this area. I suppose this is the material they would have used for the roof. Then with some kind of shrubbery or something to cover it, maybe animal skins and such. It'd have been something like that. Some of this rock looks pretty unstable. I don't know how much you can tell from the microphone how windy it is, but it's got to be 20 miles an hour right now. Gonna have to come back out here on a day when it's not quite so windy. This is part of the daily life. It says here, the open area in the Pueblo near the rim of the earth crack is known as the Plaza. In Pueblos, the Plaza was the center for many daily activities, including grinding corn, making pottery, working obsidian into arrowheads, processing other plants for food, and cooking. It would have also been used for meetings and conducting trade. And it was a controlled play area for the children. It says here, during the warmer months, the Plaza received extensive use from dawn until dusk. Rooms inside the Pueblo were used only for sleeping and some cooking. The water at the bottom of the earth crack is a prehistoric crack dam, or check dam, that contained the frequent runoff. The inhabitants of the Pueblo also placed numerous pottery jars at the base of overhangs to catch rainwater. When the rain did not come, they had to walk 10 miles to the Little Colorado River to fill their pottery jars. That would not have been fun. And of course, snake habitat. Now there will be some snakes, but there are going to be very few deadly ones here because it does get somewhat cold. But you will find them. But the lizards are what you really want to keep an eye out for. They're not dangerous, but they're very colorful. And it's very interesting if you can see one. You got to be patient. Look around for them. Again, there's a drainage area. Well, they would have been raising crops in that box canyon. You can see the outline of it. Can't believe they would have crawled into this. I guess. Wonder what they used for the roof. Where they would have gotten the wood from. I guess just branches and such. It says we can't go in here. So here's one of their rooms. Check that out. Look at another little door. You'd had to have been about 4 feet tall to live in this place. That brings us outside. Check out the pronghorn with the 2 babies. Those are newborn.